I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to my shop. Today got a great project. Take a look at this jewel. This is nice. I did this out of Castillo boxwood. The base is made out of boxwood. Piece of wiring is a rare earth magnet in it to give it some oomph. The entire thing is based upon this. This cube, ventilated like that, but it has to be precise and exact, and every cut be exactly the same, or the ventilation in the holes and the penetrations don't look the same. Now, this is a piece of sycamore. I've done them out of sycamore, beech, maple, birch, cocobolo, Hadouk, purple heart. I've done 40 or 50 of them in the last couple of weeks. People just love them, and they make great for hanging art. And to do that, same thing with the magnet, or insert, you take your little thing and you put a 16th inch hole, put a piece of wire, super glue it in, hang it from a fan, or it's going to have movement all the time. It's a great project. You're ready to do this, get out a pen and paper, because we're rocking and rolling. And all you need to do, folks, is watch. Now, the key to this project, really two major keys to it. Number one's a perfect cube of wood. I would find something nice and soft, pliable, not plywood, pliable, and that cuts nice. This is beech. We're going to do this today. But don't get something that gets stringy, and don't get something that gets flaky and hard to try your first one. Perfect cube. This is 2 5/8 by 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. Okay, all I needed to say was a 2 5/8 inch cube, but it must be perfect. Run it through your table saw and make sure it is square to each side and you got all true 90s. If you don't, you're going to mess up. And oh yeah, when you're making them, make a few spares. Oh, not for this. I got another project coming your way. Gonna blow your mind. Next, we got to talk about what to hold it with, okay? Over here. I have a set of jumbo jaws, or a plate jaw, whatever. You need something that'll scroll down to hold this thing well. The first piece you make is the back one. Now, this gets fixed to the jumbo jaw. And there's not a lot of magic to it, but all you have to do is make sure that you have a center bolt to give it good and tight. And once you get it in place, and I'll show you why, then you come in from the back and put 2 set screws. That's number one. The second part is what actually holds the piece. It's a second circle, same size. You put it all together and you cut a 2 and a, say, 2 3/8 square off the inside of it, because you want it to open up to the 2 5/8 and be able to close down to at least 2 1/2. If you want to get more range on your blocks, you have to have more range on this. But you can always have a second set of jaws. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about, setting it in place. Again, what I did, just for you guys that are maybe from, never mind, back plate only, dead center of the block. You see the scar marks now? Okay. Down in here, tailstock in there. Now to check it, see that little gap right there? Yeah. Gap's the same, gap's the same, gap's the same. I don't trust that it's all the same, so let me get in a little bit closer and yep. Oh yeah. Oh no, I need to go over a little bit. Looks like I'm maybe a 64th of an inch out. Yeah. Maybe I'll live with that. Okay, now that's centered on this. Then I'm going to install my face plates. I've already had these on, so I'm not going to do, and that little aggravating thing is called Little Kid, and she's going to bark until those dogs go away. This one's already on, so I'm going to go back in the holes I had. But it will fit right there. And what happens now, let's imagine again, it wasn't pre-drilled. Okay, I've mixed them all up. Then I put my block dead center. I brought my jaws down. I've got some gap up here, okay? I got to have a little more adjustment room. I brought my jaws down, and then I put this in place. Zip, zip, zip all the way around, all 4 of them. That way, this block is being held at these jaws. The jaws are tight on the block can't vibrate, no harmonics, nothing else. That way, when I start spinning this piece, this block spins exactly center and is held solid. Boy, that was kind of fussing at you, wasn't it? I apologize for that. But if you get it wrong, you're going to get mad. So, get over it. We have to do something here. You're in my way. I went ahead and reset all my faceplates. I've been using this for a while and it probably got a little movement. After I've got the faceplate set, then I go to the back of my jaws, and even though I have a 1/4-20 stove bolt holding the jaw in place, and it's tight with a wing nut, I add 2 set screws, or 2 screws into the plate to make sure it doesn't move on the jumbo jaws. Everything's ready, move the tailstock back, I've got the block in here. But before I go anywhere, it's got to be tightened up. You will forget some of the very, very basic moves in rushing this program. You don't want to rush it. Preparation is 99% of it. Now, the block, the concentric block. Let me explain to you what makes it work. This is the block. Take a look. You see that? All right. 2 5/8 inch. I'm going to leave 5/16 on each side. Now I can get smaller and finer, and maybe you will too. But right now let's play with 5/16, which means, do the math, 2-inch diameter penetration. But let's flip it over to metric, okay? Because the guys across the pond watch this thing too. So you can figure out what 2 inches is, okay? And 5/16 and all that. But let's say we're 50 millimeters wide. Write these 3 numbers down. 50, 35, 17. 50, 35, 17. You had a notepad, right? Okay. Right. 50 is the first one. 35 is the second one. 17 is the third one. 1, 2, 3. All right, you got that. What happens here is we take this 2-inch penetration and we push it more than 5/16 of an inch deep from here, and it comes out here. You see that? We take the 2-inch penetration and we push it more than 5/16 deep, and it shows over here. See that little spot right there? I don't got anything that small, but that's what happens. It comes out on the side. Now, what I was telling you about being uniform is, if you don't get them right, the holes over here look, maybe you like that, but let's play for uniform. So I need to go deeper than 5/16. So I've got a tool I love to use for this, and I cheated a little bit. You know me, can't play fair. Let me get my tool and show you. But remember, now this is my favorite little tool. I understand it's a small B-Dan. It's a piece of 3/16 by 5/16 steel, and it's got a simple grind on the end of it, like a B-Dan, and I just have it a little bit sharp. On the very first one, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in grandma and do a mark that I don't normally do. That would be my 2 inches. I might cheat and do that occasionally, but that's about where I start at. I kick it up to 1,000 RPMs, and then we start in with this tool. And you have to remove the wood fairly slowly. I've been removing a little wood, and I'm watching a line on my cutter because I want to go down to that point and stop. Then I'm going to clean this up all the way across the bottom. Maybe a nice slide cut like that. A little scrape on the side, because this is as good as I'm going to get it until I sand now. How do I gauge the next cut? This is my 50, 35, 17
marker, just a little piece of wood. Now that'll show me about where my 35 is going to be and about where my 17 is going to fall. So then I eyeballed it, roughen in a little bit, take a second peek. I need another 16. Go back one more peek. Remember, you can always measure twice, cut once, but you can't cut once if you, never mind. Now this time I'm going for the second mark, the shorter mark. Couple of things. The width and depth on. Okay, I got you to bend over like this so you can look in here. You see what's happening inside? Alright. If I hog that center, it's going to blow and maybe tear something up. So I want to go real gently down the sides and across the bottom. Same thing on these. I'm going to turn out the shop light or the studio light and see if it gets better for you to see what's happening in there. Now, can you see what's happening in there? We're totally ventilated out. Hey, got this one done. All I have to do now is touch up the little fuzz that shows up with a scratch of sandpaper and clean up some little details. Then I'll probably buff off the outside and put a good coat of lacquer on it, and this will be done. Yeah. Hey, if you really want to play with it, downsize it, make a light pole or something out of it. Put a rare earth magnet in one end, hang it off a wire. Make it a mobile, get a couple of them going, a couple of different sizes, have a little fun with it. But wherever you put it at, somebody's going to pick it up and play with it. And if you're not comfortable with the tools I showed you, don't do it. Get you some drill bits, some Forstner bits, and pre-drill using your tailstock down to within 1/8 of an inch of where you're going to be, both ways. And then use the multi-tool to clean it up. It can be done that way, and some people think it's a lot easier. Remember, with a Forstner bit or any other drill product, you're going to generate a lot more heat than you would with your tools. And on some woods, that'll cause them to move, or crack, or blow up, or split, or, well, you know what happens when you put heat to wood. Sometimes it even burns. Okay, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. Don't forget, if you need me, this address right here, eddiecastellan.com. That's where you can get the tools, the Black Hawk, the cutters, all that good stuff. I got everything, and I got combo packs. If you hadn't checked it out before, check it out now. And if I can help you, this email address is the one. Just give me an email. And hey, I wondered if you guys didn't put my phone number at the end of the thing. You can call me if you got problems or you got questions. I'll be glad to help you. Sometimes I don't answer the phone right away. I got that JOB thing until I retire. Yeah, and the company really insists I stay hard at it some days. And I said that with a straight face. Okay, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan, making shavings. You take care now. This is going to come out pretty good.